everyone, and welcome to Family Finance Friday, the graduate edition. I have today 10 things to share with the graduates who are done with schooling, the ones who are going to take that diploma and run with it. Um, I will have another video in the future. I'm not sure exactly when, for the graduates who are going on to a higher education. But for right now, this is for the ones who are done for now, and ready to go on. So originally, I asked if everyone wanted this as a workshop or a webinar, and I did not get enough positive response. Actually, I heard you. I had some people that said this is great. Other people that were like, "Hey, my kids are not going to listen to this, so we'll work with what we have, right?" So, if you are one of those who cannot get your kids to watch this, which is completely understandable, they're probably sick of lectures and watching videos and Zoom rooms and all that stuff. Um, Feel free. I mean, if you can get them to watch, let them watch it. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. It'll be super quick. But if you cannot, like I said, I completely understand. Then go ahead and take some notes, and you can feed this information to them um, as you feel is best for them. So, as you feel they will best utilize it. And not all this is financial. Some is just business. Some is life. So, here we go. Number one, first off, for all of our graduates, give yourself a pat on the back for a job well done. You deserve it. Oh my gosh, graduating and getting your diploma at any level is a huge accomplishment. And there are so many people in the world who do not do that. So, congratulations to you. And whether your parents say it or not, they're proud of you. So, if you're a parent, tell your graduates that you're proud of them. Um, it never gets old, and I know they will appreciate it. Number two, never stop learning. While you may or may not go on to have more formal education, never stop learning. Did I see? I cannot repeat this enough. See, I'm going to repeat myself. Never stop learning. Learn something new every day. I love that. I learn something new. I often learn something new before breakfast. Granted, I do intermittent fasting. I tend to eat breakfast a little bit later in the morning, like 10, 11, sometimes noon. Today was like 1. I don't know. I just wasn't hungry. So, um, but learn something new, and you can learn multiple somethings new every single day. And it's just a fun, exciting way to live your life. And I still do. I still get excited. I'm like, oh, I learned something new. So anyways, number three, and this is just in general, this is a good business tip. Employers mostly hire based on your personality. And I know this from both sides. I know this from being hired. I know this from doing the hiring. And I know this also from mentoring people, especially younger adults, going out there getting that job, and who are concerned about, oh my gosh, what if I don't have the experience? What if I don't have the right education? Go for it, because employers base their hiring decisions mostly on your personality. You can teach a monkey to do most of what people are having you do in the business world, or in any skill set. If you can be taught, there you go. And really, and that's why they have robots, right? I mean, they could have robots do these jobs, but they want people in there because you enjoy being with other people. You don't enjoy the personality of a robot. I mean, maybe eventually we will, but not yet. So, or the same thing with a monkey. There's definitely some flaws there with a monkey's personality. So, so instead of trying to impress an employer, let them see who you are, and that goes both ways. Okay, see how they are too, because there's nothing worse than being in a position where you're working for someone or working with someone whose personality clashes with yours. It is a surefire way for a miserable experience. And so if you can check that out and have enough, kind of get a feel for people and how the office environment is during that interview process. And don't be afraid to ask. It's okay to ask what the company culture is. It's okay to ask, kind of like, how the average workday goes, kind of see how things are around there and get a feel for the place and how people sync up with each other. But once again, don't be afraid. If you don't have the exact education they're looking for, if you don't have the exact experience they're looking for, apply. especially right now because there's so many people that are taking advantage of, at least here in the US, taking advantage of the unemployment bonuses that people are getting, that, people are desperate to get good employees. So you really have a total edge on everyone else right now if you're just willing to look for work. Okay. Number 4, start investing in your future right away. There are always going to be distractions. There's going to be bills, fun things to do, something you want to buy, whatever. There's always distractions, but start investing at least 10% of your after tax income. So that's the money that you get in your paycheck every week, every other week, whatever, however often it is. And, make it easy by having it automatically move to its own account so you don't have to think about it. You know, so the money comes in. You can even have direct deposited into a completely separate account if you want. But either way, it either gets direct deposited to its own account, or if it comes into your checking account, you have it automatically moved over to another account that's set up just for investment funds. So you know exactly how much you have to invest. Um, excuse me. And the reason I say at least 10% is that if you think you want to retire early, which I know a lot of people want to do, then do more. 10% is to get you to retirement age. More than that will get you retired early. As long as you make good investing decisions and don't put it all in something very risky that's just going to crash and burn. That said, do not invest to get rich quick. The worst thing, in fact, the surest way to lose it all is to try and do some get rich quick scheme. Invest in companies and products you believe in, that you know, like, and trust. That is really, some very sound investing advice comes all the way from Warren Buffett, who, seems to know a thing or two about what he's talking about. And I have to say, personally, for me, it works for me too. So, next, and this is especially for the younger generation, because I know you guys want to make a change in the world. So if you want to make a change in the world, vote with your wallet. It is the easiest way to do it. And I stand behind this 100%. I mean, I may not have put Walmart out of business, but you can bet that if enough of me's are out there not shopping at Walmart because we don't believe in their ethics, that they're going to feel it. So, and I'm not saying you can't shop at Walmart. That's just my personal one. But, if you don't agree with what a company's doing, don't shop there. Don't buy their products. There are so many places that you can shop in this world. There are so many ways to get it from anywhere in the world that if you don't like the way things are, buy it from someone else. It's that easy. So, and I know that you have that, that drive and that motivation to do that. So, be the change. Okay. Number 6, be grateful for what you have and give 5 to 10% of what comes into others. So once again, you have that money that's coming, you have your paycheck, it comes in your account, you're taking 10%, putting it into investing, taking 5 to 10% and giving to others. And the reason this is 5 to 10% is because if you're volunteering your time, you don't have to give quite so much with your money. So just see how that goes. It's totally up to you. But even if you think you're broke, which it may feel like, especially when you're first starting out and you have, you may or may not have student loans, you may or may not have, rent or a mortgage or a car payment, insurances, cell phone bills, internet, the payment, maybe some subscriptions, whatever. You have all of that going on. But if you have a paycheck coming in the door, even if it's unemployment, okay, it doesn't matter. If you have any money coming in the door, you're already better off than 95% of the world. So be generous with what you have. The bonus to this, not only does it feel good and you can help out whatever causes you feel strongly in, you can even just give it out to strangers on the street, doesn't matter, whatever works for you. But when you show you're responsible with your money and that you have so much that you can give freely to others, more will be given to you. And that is, it's a universal law. It's in the Bible. It's, across the board. It's just one of those universally agreed upon things. So, however your belief system is, you can find somewhere where it tells you that, because this is something that is just widely, widely known. Number 7, remember that advice I had for investing? Do the same for savings. you could easily become part of the minority who have emergency savings account. It is unbelievable how high a percentage of people do not have $500 in savings right now or $1,000 in savings. If you're taking a 10% of your income, every dollar that comes in the door, and you are putting it in an account just for savings that you only use for emergencies or, when something goes wrong or you're desperately need it, you just never know what that little thing's going to be that comes up. But you'll have it. You won't have to stress about it. You won't be borrowing money. You won't be scrambling trying to get the money together. You won't be unable to pay your bills if something happens. If the car breaks down, you have a flat tire, um, whatever. You'll have that money in your savings. And once that savings account reaches a few $1,000s, you want to put it into a high yield savings account. So something like a money market account, something that's actually going to draw some interest. Because right now, so many of the savings accounts are doing zero, or you might be getting a penny. It's nothing. Whereas if you put that money into a money market account or some other high yield savings account, you will actually start having your money make some money. It's not going to keep up with inflation, although inflation is very, very low right now. Not going to keep up with inflation, but better than nothing, right? Something is better than nothing. And you want to keep saving until you have at least a year's worth of expenses saved up. I know some people who take that a step further and they want to have enough saved up so that they could stop working tomorrow and have enough in savings that they could live the rest of their life. I'm not sure you need to go that extreme, but if you want to, you could, but a good rule of thumb is to keep saving till you have at least a year's worth saved up. And then you can reassess and see what your comfort level is at that time. Once you have that year, you can go ahead and take that money and put it into investing or something else. The big thing is to make sure that you have enough money that if you were unemployed for a while, the bills get paid. Okay. Um, let's see here. Number 8. Oh, and sorry, going back to the Hill Savings Game, when you do get to that point where you're investing in other things, you have that few $1,000s saved up and you're going to do whatever, research to see what works best for you. Okay, because there is no hard and fast rule. I say money market account as an example, but there may be something else that works even better for you. So, see what's out there, and go from there. Okay. Okay. Number 8, do not wait until fill in the blank to do what it is you want to do. There is no time like the present. And even if you cannot do exactly what you want to do, you can at least take the first steps to get towards that path. Okay, I'm going to use Elon Musk as an example. So look at Elon. He created PayPal so he could have the funds to start Solar City, which funded Tesla, which is funding SpaceX. And that's going to eventually get him to Mars. He wanted to go to Mars. Now, if he would have started and said, hey, I am going to wait until I have the money to go to Mars before he started any of this, one, we wouldn't have all those other things. And two, he would still be working for others because, coming up with the money to get to Mars and the technology and everything else you need, you know, how would he have that? But he had to take the first steps. So don't be afraid to start small and do something. And it doesn't have to be a direct line. It may be a very zigzag path. But take little steps to kind of get yourself in that direction. And you'll be surprised at how quickly you get there. And once again, you'll get there a whole lot faster than if you do nothing at all. So do something. In fact, my stepfather says this, do something even if it's wrong. Because it is true. Doing something will at least get you going forward or going sideways or going somewhere. If you just sit there stuck, you're not doing anything. Okay. Um, so number 9, remember to have fun. Do not be so focused in checking off the boxes of what you think you're supposed to do that you become boring and stagnant. In fact, I heard a saying, I don't know, it's probably about a year ago about stop shoulding all over yourself because we put all these shoulds. I should do this. I should do that. And people say to us, you should be doing this. You should be doing that. And it is one of the worst things you can do for yourself because it's often things that you really don't want to do and you're not being true to yourself. So, don't do what you think you're supposed to be doing or what you should be doing. I mean, there are some things like, well, I mean, I'm not going to say like you should pay your taxes because you have to pay your taxes. That's just a given. So there's no should around it. But but if you think that, you should be paying off your student loans before you start saving for a house, or, You should, um, be living like a miser until you're debt free. Whatever the case might be, now break the rules, have fun. In fact, there's nothing worse because this is what happens when you become an adult and you start adulting. You start doing all the things you're supposed to be doing, and you forget how to have fun. All of a sudden, you wake up one day and you're like, oh my gosh, what happened to me? I'm so boring. And now your kids think that you're so boring. And your spouse thinks that you're so boring. And you think your spouse is so boring. And everybody's all sitting in this massive pool of boredom. And, then you start doing things to try and shake up the boredom that usually end up being destructive. So, have fun along the way. Don't be so focused on raising those kids and being the perfect parent that you forget how you were before you had kids. Continue to date your spouse or your significant other. Continue to have fun. Go out dancing, go to the movies. You can have fun with the kids too, right? I mean, life is an adventure. So, bring the kids on it. And also having kids, one thing that, okay, I actually, I always had one older dog and one younger dog because I found that the older dog would teach the younger dog, how to behave and what to do and what the expectations were. But the younger dog would keep the older dog young. And the same is true for people. And this is why it's so great when kids spend time with their grandparents or their great grandparents because, you know, the kids keep the adults young and the adults teach the kids what's socially acceptable and how to get through life. So be like that. Okay? That's probably the easiest way to boil it down is to just, remember to have fun. Remember your inner child and continue to do things that you did when you were young and while you're young now. And and don't forget about that. Um, and even if it's just a little bit each week, set aside some funds to do something you truly enjoy. It could be, getting that mocha choca blah 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 latte whatever. It could be, you can tell I'm not a coffee drinker, right? It could be a mani pedi, it could be going to the movies, it could be, you know anything. So set aside a couple dollars so you can have fun. And I don't care if you want to do the whole, debt free thing, which you can tell from my attitude how I think about it, but it's your choice. If you want to do it, go for it. I know a lot of people that swear by it. But make sure you do just set it, even if it's a couple dollars, $5 a week, $10 a week, just so you can do something really, really fun so that you don't forget about how to do it. And also, it is amazing how much fun you can have for free or low cost. So, you know, go out there, look around, see what's out there, get creative, talk to others, and because it doesn't cost any money really to go hiking, or it costs a few dollars to go ice skating or go to the drive-in. These are all very, very low cost things that can be a lot of fun. So if you enjoy them, if you don't enjoy them, then of course they're not fun. So, anyways. And finally, number 10, learn as much as you can about money, finances, investing, and money mindset. The return on investment is immeasurable. And there's a reason why you see those memes going around social media about, I wish they would have taught this in school, things we should have been taught in school but weren't. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a financial educator. It truly is. When you don't know about money, finances, investing, and money mindset, it costs you a lot of money. Ignorance is not bliss. I mean, it may be bliss in the fact that you don't know what you don't know, but ignorance is expensive. And so, take the time to learn. There's so much available. There's so much available here in this community, on YouTube, on the internet. It's everywhere. Pick up a book. It doesn't matter. Do something to make sure you're learning about these things because it does make a world of difference. And especially, I have to say, a really, really big one is money mindset because you can be doing all the things you're supposed to be doing. So there we go with the shoulds, right? You can do all the things they tell you to do, all those things you're supposed to do, all those things you should be doing. But if your mindset has some kind of belief in it that you can't have that or you whatever, those things are bad or they're for other people or whatever the case might be. Everybody's beliefs are different, but you will never get ahead because what's going to happen, and this is a surefire way to tell, if you are saving up money for something and the minute you get to a certain threshold, something happens that you have to spend that money and it takes you back down to zero, that means you have a block in there. You have some kind of belief in there that you cannot get above a certain number. It may also show up in your salary. It could be that, maybe you start making a little more money, and you get to a certain threshold where you just cannot seem to earn anything additional. Once again, that's because your belief. You don't believe you should be above. You set your own glass ceiling, and you'll never get through it until you do the work. So, Sean Croxton has a wonderful money mindset course, and it's really inexpensive. And he has a payment plan too. And I highly recommend it. In fact, another session is coming up soon. But if you think you may have any kind of those beliefs where you really want to dig in and start looking at what's going on, that's a great one. I talk about it all the time here in the community too. So I'd be more than happy to talk with you if you have any concerns, any question about anything in particular, anything at all. Money, finances, investing, money mindset. I am here. I love to talk this stuff. I can talk it all day long. So let me know your questions. And if you don't want to talk about it here in the community, we can talk about it outside the community. Whatever works for you. Um, and here's your first lesson. Compounding is the eighth wonder of the world, according to Warren Buffett. Once again, kind of knows a thing or two. Um, Here's the thing, though. It can work both for or against you. We tend to think about compound interest when we're thinking about investments, the stock market. It's like, you put $1 into savings or into an account where you get a 1% yield. So after a month, you have $1 and 1 penny. And then after the next month, you have $1 and, 2.1 cents. And then the next you have, $1 and, 3.3, whatever it might be. Okay. So we tend to think about like that, where it's rising exponentially. However, where it works against you is, say, for example, you have a credit card or a loan where they're charging you a certain percentage. Well, now you've got extra money, or if there's fees will kill you. And when they put fees in things, like when they put fees on a mutual fund or anything like that, they look so little. It's like 0.65. It seems like nothing. Okay. That can add up to tens of thousands of dollars. This is why when they show you those graphs about, if you put $2,000 a month away while you were in your 20s, and you don't do anything after that, you're going to retire a millionaire. But no, you'll end up retiring with like $250,000 because those little fees are going to eat away at your principal until you don't have anything left. Same thing goes with accounts where if they're charging you $2 a month or $5 a month, that's eating away at your money. Find something that's free, or get the fee as low as you possibly can, so that more of your money stays your money, because you want the money that's coming in, the interest, the compound interest, that everything that's compounding coming in. You want that to be as high as possible. Anything that you have to pay compounding going out, whether it's interest or fees, you want to be as low as possible or get rid of it altogether. And once again, there's so many options. Do a little research. You'll be surprised. Make sure, though, with that caveat, that if it seems too good to be true, it may be. Do your due diligence. Make sure that it's not too good to be true and just some scam, because obviously that will cost you even more than if you just paid the small fee. So there you go. And once again, if you have any questions, we're here for you. Talk to your parents, whatever. Talk to a trusted adult who knows about money, and they will help guide you in the right direction. And that is it. That is our 10 things to know for our graduates. I was trying to keep it under 20 minutes. Sorry, I went just a little bit over, but we got it. So, once again, if you could please, if you have any questions, leave them here, or DM me. If anyone out there has any words of wisdom for our graduates, please leave it in the comments. And if there's anything I forgot, please, once again, put it down there. I love it. So, everyone, have a wonderful day and congratulations. I am so proud of you for graduating. Great job. Good night.